How's it going, guys? My name is Alex.
Good evening.
And welcome to a full comprehensive guide on how you would want to train your players, build your team, add additional skills, everything in one concise video. So first and foremost, there are different types of players. There's base players, featured players, player of the week players, and now legendary boosted players as well, which should be trained a little bit differently. So you're given the opportunity to train a player the way you want, or you can obviously rely on auto allocation. So for instance, I got this featured Casemiro, and I like the way I trained him because I can get additionally a little bit better passing, and I don't really mind sacrificing his speed for that. That's exactly what I did. He might be getting a less overall rating, so you see overall rating over here on top, but overall is not that important. So for instance, many people may notice that some of my players like this, for instance, Sheva, he is getting by auto-allocating points, you're getting his overall to 102 with the boost and additional boosters, but I don't care about overall numbers, they don't really mean anything for me. So he's getting 101, but I'm getting the best stats in my strikers that I like a lot about my strikers. I'm satisfied with his performance. So it is ultimately your decision to rely on auto-allocation, and this is how it looks. I go to player progression. This is something you can do. You can play around with the players. Only like 2 weeks left when you're watching this video. Maybe this is not even a chance, an opportunity for you to reset player progression for free. Later, you see, for Casemiro, it will cost me 200,000 GPs, which is extremely costly. I don't really understand why Konami is doing that. So expensive. So if you have GPs in millions in your team, that's something that you would probably want to fix and use it. I'll explain how you use GPs. So action, auto-allocate. This is how Konami is offering you to train Casemiro. Is it bad? Usually it is not bad, but sometimes, you know, I want my defensive midfielders to be a good passer, and I really don't mind downgrading his speed for that matter. So I sacrifice a little bit of a speed, and I want my defensive midfielders to defend. His defensive awareness is decent. I would love to boost it a little bit, but you really need to realize that every single start with the proper manager is getting +2 boost. I'll show you that in a second, how it works. And I want to use these points to sacrifice my speed in passing, so passing is decent. I don't really see a problem for my defensive midfielder. He's great. He has the jumping skill boosted to like 82, physical contact ability 86. All of that we confirm and we save that. We have spent all the trainers. I mean, usually you spend first, you level up the player, but I already leveled up. You see level training completed, and then you use progression points. So it's like 2 different actions. So this is how you build the player. But if you go and see his player details, this is what is like, it's a new thing. See, current stats of Casemiro are boosted by 2 or by 1 point, and important stats like defensive awareness, tackling for defensive midfielder, very important. Kicking power, jumping, and even his passing are boosted by 2 points. How it is working? You need to ensure that you are using a proper manager. So paying a lot of GPs for a good manager, for instance, Roman or Pep Guardiola for possession playstyle, Valbuena for long ball counter, and then of course Scheitzler for quick counter. It is beneficial because you're getting, like you see this green color, a quick counter. You change the playstyle to the one that is suiting for this manager. Scheitzler is Jurgen Klopp. He's playing quick counter in this game, and now your entire team is playing quick counter, players making runs, but your defense will be kind of exposed. There is something that you need to ensure that you're building your team with like that, and then from here you build your players considering that you're getting this +2 boost for each stat. How do you train your defenders? Apparently the meta, or how exactly you're building your team in this game, is to have a good defensive awareness first, and my Ruben Dias has it like 96 with the boost, is great, and then you can use the rest of the points, and I can actually downgrade his defensive awareness, defensive stats, and introduce and boost a little bit of a speed and acceleration. So I have his physical contact in good numbers, jumping in 90, physical contact in 90. This is an amazing defender. I have absolutely no problem with Ruben Dias. He's winning headers for me, he's proactive, he's chasing players, he is tackling everyone. The only downside to my Ruben Dias is that he didn't have a blocker skill. What did I do? I added this blocker skill manually on Ruben Dias, and blocker is helping you block the lanes, block the shots, block the passes. Player is pulling a leg and not stopping the ball. So this happened obviously oftentimes with your midfielders who don't have defensive abilities. Now Ruben Dias is a complete defender. So how do you add an additional skill that is lacking for your defender? So defender should be having man marking, interception, heading, aerial superiority, blocker, maybe sliding tackle too, fighting spirit would be nice. So you see all of these skills, and for instance, these skills were lacking for Declan Rice. I added these skills manually, and you also need to ensure that you're not gambling, you're not applying the skills randomly on a player, because that is gamble and you don't know what Konami is going to be giving you, and Konami likes giving you random skills. What I do for that, I signed a lot of random 0 GP players, and usually Lombardi is giving you good skills. Apparently there's like different people have different methods, but you go sort these guys by price. You see, make sure that the arrow is facing upwards, and you get 0 GP players displayed first, and you sign this guy because like he has no skills at all. So you can't really get a duplicate skill on him as well. And you just apply skills manual on this player. So you get skill tokens, you go to this Lombardi in your team, you go to my team, you go to players, and for instance, you sign this Lombardi, you go to him, skill training, you apply the skill up until you get a decent skill on top of trackback. When you get double touch, one touch passing, very valuable skills, or any other skill for that matter. And then once you're getting blocker, for instance, and I needed blocker on my Ruben Diaz, I go here and I click on legacy transfer, and whenever I get this blocker skill, I know that there is a list of players. You see how many players I have this skill signed. I filter, I added skill, filter by added skill, and I search for blocker skill. That's important skill for my defender. And when I find the blocker skill, I click done. Ruben Diaz will be getting blocker and no look pass, but apparently because I have the blocker skill on my Ruben Diaz, I'm not getting it twice. So there you go. This is how you're training your players for defense. For the right backs, it is also advised to have defensive-minded right backs just to make sure that everything is so solid in your team. But if you have attacking-minded right back or left back full backs, that is, I think getting their lofted pass to 90 and have pinpoint crossing ability is very beneficial. Through passing, pinpoint crossing, one-touch pass, very beneficial for right backs. And also, they can kind of defend, but they're not the best defenders. Having really solid right and left backs, like Kunde, for instance, very good when you want to ensure that you're not conceding goals. Stopping your team from leaking goals is so important, so try to play 4 at the back formation if you're a beginner, and try to play really solid right and left backs, and then you will be probably, stop leaking goals. Obviously, it's really fun to see that your right and left backs venturing forwards, crossing all the time, and you get a lot of goals because your strikers can head the ball. But right now, the meta is probably having defensive fullbacks so that they stay deep and help you defend. For the midfield, this is the formation with 2 midfielders. One of them is like really a destroyer midfielder, defensive midfielder, even though his playstyle is an anchorman. Anchorman is someone who is dropping down and helping your backline, but also can distribute the ball, because you see, with this boost, Casemiro can pass. I don't mind that at all. And he has weighted pass, nice skill. I would like to add him a through pass as well. But also, what I gave him is rising shot. Sometimes your defensive midfielders are in a position to take a shot. And Casemiro has great kicking power, so he has long-range shooting as well. So that's nice to have your defensive midfielder, a stunning shot from the midfield. Very nice. Then you have Modric. And Modric is my orchestrator, a player who can kind of defend, but look at his passing abilities, dribbling abilities. He's phenomenal with finishing, so good too. Great curl. I really like to score goals with my Modric, distribute the ball as well with my Modric. He's great at dribbling. I mean, he's always starting for me. He's a sure starter for me. And this is the type of card. This is like a player of the week card, and I really can't add additional skills on him because you see, this is not like available. That's a downside to this type of cards, but this is such a beautiful card that even when he's out of contract, 97 days left, I'll be applying probably contract items on him to ensure that I can use him. And now talking about the booster cards, special cards that you would use with initial boost. When you're lucky to get an epic card from a special packs that are trendy right now, this booster is something that is applied on player automatically. Maybe these boosters will be like an additional items very soon in the game, so you can apply them temporarily for like 10 games, for instance, right? I don't know, at this stage of the game, these boosters are supplied with each epic card you pack. These are premium packs. Don't expect them to be like to get them on your every first free try. Many people are commenting on my videos saying that they got this for free and they're so happy. And sometimes you're lucky, but most of the time, like I wasn't lucky. I spent 20 or something pounds on coins. It's not cheap for many people. But you're getting very overpowered cards. I was obviously after Sheva, but I got Snyder as a bonus. Snyder is getting technique +2, so he's getting boost to ball control, dribbling, tight possession. So when you're getting an epic player, the way you're training them, the way you're distributing points, is gonna be a little bit different. So I don't mind, like, because his tight possession and other stats are boosted to such an extreme numbers like 99, I don't mind having his dribbling at 89. What I would be improving instead is I would be giving these points to his lofted pass, low pass, improving his shooting abilities and getting his curl boosted as well. So his finishing is 82 now for a midfielder, very solid, and he gets acceleration 85, and acceleration is a stat. When you're boosting his dexterity, you're getting not only boosting acceleration, you're also improving his balance. Balance is helping you evading tackles, and also boosting his offensive awareness, which is 81 for a midfielder, is not too bad. So this is how I'm building my attacking midfielders, left wing forwards or right wing forwards. On an example of Figo, I will show you exactly additional skills I gave him. I like my right and left midfielders or right and left wing forwards to be very skillful and double touch. I think very important, like, even if I'm not like spamming them all the time, I'm not overusing them. It's just like it gives you another avenue for your attack and gives you another ways to continue your attack. Or when you're 1v1 against the defender and you know that you need to beat that one defender and there's a goalkeeper in front of you, and when you're cutting inside from the left or right side, having a skill like Marcel turn or double touch is very good and essential, I would say. Figo has both. Now that I gave him double touch, flip-flop I gave him only to enable special double touch. So special double touch is enabled by soul control, flip-flop, and the double touch itself, so that he has the ability to create a little bit more separation from a defender after he performs double touch. So that's what I like on my wingers. And he has through passing, very important skill for a winger, I think, and having pinpoint crossing on Figo is good. And also I gave him heel trick, because sometimes when I play one-touch passes, sometimes I feel like it is beneficial to make sure that you can pass with one touch from any position that your player is occupying, and from weird angles he's going to be performing these one-touch passes. And he also has one-touch passes as a skill, pinpoint cross as a skill, weighted passes as a skill, outside corner as a skill. All of these skills, if Figo didn't have them, I would be training, but there's only 5 slots, so you need to choose and decide which actions, what you do with your wingers first and foremost. So you see how I trained my Sheva. I trained him so that I see 90 finishing is good enough, so I can redistribute the stats to his dribbling. I want my strikers to be able to carry the ball a little bit. Having great pace is good, but it is obviously beneficial to have good balance and beneficial to have good dribbling, because you all want to run with the ball, and running with the ball is also ball dribbling, and maybe tight possession at times as well. So all of these skills are important if you want to run with the ball with your striker. And I don't think that it is beneficial having more than 90 finishing. So 90 finishing, I think it's more than enough to finish the chances from outside of the box. I've seen Japanese pros training their strikers to 80 finishing and using the other points to pace and dribbling. And the way they're playing, they are not taking long shots from outside of the box. They are trying to like score with stopping situation pretty much. So they don't need good finishing. So it depends on your playstyle. So this Sheva, I'm really happy with the way I trained him, even though he's not getting 102 overall rating. I'm not fixated at overall ratings, and many people in the comments are asking, Alex, why your Bernardo Silva is like getting only 98? He should be getting 99. You trained him incorrectly. No, I trained him to my taste, because the way I trained him is that he can now finish chances. I am fine with 90s in dribbling. I don't need 97. I'm fine with that. It's more than enough for me. But I want to boost his finishing, because I like to curl with Bernardo Silva, because I'm playing him on the right position. Like when I play with 2 attacking midfielders setup, I'm playing him on the right side and like to cut inside and curl. And for that, having good finishing is beneficial. And I'm fine with 90s, 92. Obviously, it would be nice to have 95 here. I'm fine with these stats, right? And I boosted his acceleration first and foremost, so that I get 19 balance, so that his dribbling is effective. Balance is helping you to evade tackles, and also when you're dribbling, you're more smooth on the ball and you're capable of running away from people. And obviously acceleration is giving you the ability to reach your top speed quite fast. So this is my build. I will not be necessarily going through all of my players. This is how you train your players. I mean, this game is so rewarding. They're giving you featured cards almost every week, giving you so many ambassador players for free. You see, I had a stacked team, and still I upgraded my Casemiro with a free card of Casemiro over here in my team. So this nominating contact Chomini is so great, I can even start with him. So you see, all of these players were free to play except for Sheva and Snyder, and I wouldn't even want to spend money on this game anymore because I have all the best players for free because I completed the events, and I didn't even, like, I don't know, I didn't do anything extraordinary, and this game is so rewarding. The gameplay is so fun. I'll be making more tutorials and guides on how to play, how to arrange your players for each playstyle. But this has been the training guide. I hope you have no questions. If you have any questions, I may make a part 2. Drop them in the comments below, and I'll see you next. Peace.